Hello everyone, my name is Sonakshi Sinha and I work as a manager in the data privacy and legal team at Pro India. Let us today discuss about data principles, their rights and duties. Before we can move to the rights and duties of a data principles, let us understand who the data principal is. A data principal is an individual to whom the personal data relates. So, it can be any individual who provides the personal data to the organization. For example, if I am giving the information to XYZ organization, I am the data principal for that organization. Now that we understand who is a data principal, let us understand the rights and duties of the data principal. Let's discuss about the rights first and then move to the duties. The very first right that a data principal has is right to access the information that the data principal has provided to the organization. So as an individual, I have a right to access all the information that I have provided to the organization, and as an organization, you will have to provide me the right to access. Second right is right to correction, completion, updation and erasure of personal data. So where I believe as a data principal that my data is not correct, my data is not complete or updated, I can write to the organization and ask them my right to correction, my right to completion and my right to updation of that personal data. Also, in case I don't want any further services from the organization, I can also opt for right to erasure of my personal data and the organization will have to erase the data. However, in case if there are any legal obligations, then in that case organization may deny to erase the personal data from their end. Next right that we have is right to grievance redressal. In case of any complaints, we can opt for this right. We can opt for our grievance redressal and the organization will have to provide me the right of grievance redressal. The very last right that I have as a data principal is right to nominate. In case I am not capable of giving taking care of the data, or if in case I am in case of a death of any person, a person from their family member or known people can be nominated to exercise their rights on behalf of that particular person or an individual. Now that we understand what are the rights of individual or the data principal, let us discuss about the duties of a data principal. As a data principal, we have quite a lot of duties on us. We just because we are the individual who is providing the personal data to the organization, that doesn't mean that we don't have any duty with respect to the personal data that we are providing. As a data principal, we have a duty not to suppress any material information while providing the personal data to the organization. So it becomes our duty not to suppress any material information. We should be giving the correct information to the organization. We should not be trying to suppress any of the information when we are providing the personal data to the organization. The second duty that we have is not to register a false or frivolous complaint. Now, because we have a right to grievance redressal, that doesn't mean that we can opt for any false grievances or false complaints, and we should not be raising that as an individual, because obviously when it comes to putting up grievances, it should always be a nominal grievance or a grievance that we are facing, and it should not be a false grievance or false complaints. Now, next duty that we have as a data principal is furnish only information that is verifiable information or authentic information. So whenever we are providing the data to the organization, we should always have this thing in mind, that we provide the authentic data, the verifiable data, and not any incorrect data to the organization. Next duty that we have as a data principal is comply with the provisions of any other applicable law for time being in force. So in case you are you as an individual, you have a duty to also comply to all the other regulation that is applicable to you in the time in that particular time frame. And keep in mind when we are exercising any of the rights or duties. Now, last duty that we have with respect to our personal data or with respect to the data that we provide is not to impersonate another person while providing the personal data for a specified purposes. So now we should not be impersonating any other person when we are providing the personal data to the organization. That will be inaccurate data, that will not be the correct data that we provide to the organization, and that is not going to be accepted by the organization. Though the organization will not know somewhere that the data that has been provided by the individual is of another person, so it becomes your duty to always give your own data to the organization and not to impersonate another person in place of your information. Now that we have understood who is a data principal, what are the duties, what are the rights, I hope this session was a useful session for you, and in case if you have any queries, you can write to us. We will be happy to answer any of your queries and give a proper solution to it. Thank you very much for watching this video.